Hi, my name is Kaylee Farrell, and I will be talking about the global prison crisis. I chose this topic because I am a social work major and plan to one day work on prison reform and with inmate rehabilitation. The prison crisis. Prisons all around the world have the same problems. In many countries, the conditions are often inhumane, and the prisoners are mistreated by those who hold authority over them, such as the guards and wardens. The prison systems normally focus on punishing inmates. It does not work to rehabilitate them and to make them members of society again. Worldwide, there is a large number of people who are incarcerated. Studies estimate that as of 2022, there were 11.5 million people in prison across the globe. These three countries are the ones with the highest prison population. China has 1,690,000 people incarcerated. Second, the United States has 1,675,400 people incarcerated as of 2022. And third, the country with the highest prison population is Brazil, with 835,643 prisoners. Inhumane prison conditions worldwide. So many inhumane conditions go on in prisons all over the world, one of which is overcrowding. Overcrowding leads to unsafe conditions for prisoners and guards. Filling small spaces with people who may or may not already have violent tendencies is unsafe for both inmates and guards, employees in prisons. Another inhumane condition is the mistreatment of inmates by guards who use their authority to physically or mentally abuse inmates to assert that authority. Also, prisoners receive unfair wages for their labor. Sometimes prisoners do not receive money at all, and when they do, it is for a few cents an hour. Lastly, mental illnesses are often overlooked or ignored when a person is put into the criminal justice system. Once in prison and labeled a criminal, their health and mental well-being are not considered or cared about by guards, who often, as I mentioned before, only wish to punish and do not care about rehabilitation of these inmates. These are photos of some prisons around the world, and as you can see, the conditions are very inhumane and undesirable. One inmate I'd like to discuss is Carl Taylor. Taylor was serving a prison sentence of 27 years for a rape conviction in New York. After his sentencing, he was diagnosed with delusional disorder and a paranoid personality disorder. Taylor claimed he was being harassed by guards who would frequently ransack his cell, which he would have to clean up. In April of 2015, there was an altercation between Taylor and a guard. Fellow inmates recall the sound of a baton hitting Taylor's head, which they described as two loud cracks. They also recall hearing Taylor say he could not breathe while he was being subdued by guards. Taylor was taken to an infirmary where minutes later he died. The investigation claimed that Taylor's death was a result of his own poor health conditions. No, I'm not saying that Taylor was innocent of his crimes or that he did not also fight in the altercation with the guard. My point of this is that he was a mentally unwell man who did not benefit from prison at all. In fact, he would probably still be alive if he had gotten proper treatment and was not thrown in a cell. Strategies to alleviate the crisis. Reducing the number of offenders admitted to prisons would help with overcrowding. Shortening the time of offenders spent in prison. Creating rehabilitation programs to help inmates not be punished, but to eventually become members of society again. And spreading awareness and advocating for prisoners' rights. Here is the information where I gathered the information. Thank you for listening to my presentation on the global prison crisis.